We are on the final freaking 10 days where we finally will learn who is Max the Max. As several days of G1 Climax 31 are in the books, and we are here once again to bring you our insight, hype, excitement, suspension of disbelief, and overall just outlook at the G1 Climax so far as we look to see who will claim their destiny to be part of the biggest Wrestle Kingdom ever. Wrestle Kingdom 16. 3 nights? Still can't believe it. But
one or two in Yokohama?
Yeah, I did. One in Yokohama, 2 in the Tokyo Dome. And that still baffles me, but I digress. Anyway, rambling enough.
Yeah, right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome once again to another Simple Duos take of the G1 Climax 31 as we continue to bring you our insight, hype, preview, predictions, and thoughts, and everything else galore. Once again, I am the Superman Noah Foster, joined as always with my great friend and commentary colleague. You might have seen him on the Jeff Fusion Network, member of Weymouth Youth Wrestling and FTW Productions. He is, of course, the Wrestling Encyclopedia, Casey Gallagher. Casey, I guess you lost. It's been a while, my friend.
Arigashimasu, Noah-san. It's been a long time. I'm thrilled to be alive. We're in the home stretch.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell we always survive this every year. Even when we can't watch every day live, because you know you and I don't do that because of work and everything. Somehow we still keep up with it. We still talk about it. And we still truly fall in love with it every year, as it always seems to surpass the previous year and who could shine the brightest, but who could also surprise you the most. And I tell you, there's been enough surprises in this one for darn sure since day one and match the year candidates.
Yes, indeed. And from the videos we've done together, I know you kind of like to do this on a little bit on the freeform side. So let's just go right into it. Is it safe to say that Tomohiro Ishii just carried the Great Okan to the match of his life?
I would have to say yes. I was going to actually talk about, of course, the Stone Pitbull, who always is my G1 Climax MVP. And you literally pointed out one of 3 recent matches I've seen from the man in that saying. Absolutely did. Great Okan and Tomohiro Ishii, they brought a physical war out of each other. And keep in mind, this is Great Okan's first ever G1 Climax. This guy is not even a year old in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he's this damn good, this composed, this athletic, this adaptive. It just does not seem normal. I cannot believe how incredible Great Okan has been during this entire thing. For me, he's definitely been the breakout performance of the A block this year. Your thoughts on Great Okan?
I think we have a future IWGP heavyweight champion on our hands.
No doubt. No doubt. That being said, let's go ahead and talk more about the competitors. Of course, I bring up the current scores for these blocks. As again, there literally is only 2 days left of block action for both these days. Once we get through tomorrow, folks, this is being recorded 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday night, October the 11th, where we're talking about professional wrestling and not entertainment. But I digress. So let's go ahead and take a look at these as you talk about Great Okan and Tomohiro Ishii. Tomohiro Ishii, of course, once again playing spoiler in the early going, delivering Zack Sabre Jr., who was undefeated and block key win leader, in my opinion. I still feel like he's a key pick to win the block. But Ishii gives Zack Sabre Jr. his first defeat, again, at the expense of his arm, which I'm pretty sure that arm was pretty much dead. Were you surprised to see Tomohiro Ishii beat Zack Sabre Jr.?
Very.
Yeah. That match could have gone either way. Those two have had countless singles bouts. And again, when it comes to Tomohiro Ishii, he is that guy that wants you to push him the farthest. He is that guy that plays the spoiler in the good way, unlike somebody else I don't want to talk about. But yeah.
No.
Oh, my authority! Why'd you brought his name up? Anyway, yeah, Tomohiro Ishii, of course, who started, might I add, with a 0-3 deficit and has basically won every match since, going on a Sonata type role since last year. And might I add, this is one of the guys that has yet to make it to a final, and I believe deserves it. Casey, do you believe this is Tomohiro Ishii's year to make it to a final?
If not, he's definitely still in the mix. I'm honestly shocked that Sonata's been mathematically eliminated.
Yeah, let's go ahead and change tangents. I love how you're doing this. Again, folks, we're free-forming this. Let's look at the B block here, because when you look at the A block, there's still a number of people in contention to possibly take this thing when you consider tiebreakers. And we'll talk more about that, folks, when we talk about the competitors. But let's look at the B block here when it comes to the scores. This really has come down to a three-person block win it all. Renmeka, Kazuchika Okada, Jeff Cobb, and Evil. Everyone else, unfortunately, at this point, pretty much I would think has been eliminated. Hiroshi Tanahashi, he could go to 12 points, but again, based on the fact that Okada already owns a win over him, if Okada wins this block, he's eliminated. If Evil wins this block, he's eliminated. And Jeff Cobb right now, he is the person that Tanahashi faces tomorrow morning. So I ask you this, do you think Tanahashi could be the guy that breaks Cobb's streak?
That's probably the match. Well, one of the two matches in B block for me, and both involving Jeff Cobb, that are just way too close to call for me.
Yeah, again, when you think about the ace and the heart, this is the guy that has performed the most consecutive times, a three-time G1 Climax winner, came this close to beating Evil, damn it. But again, he is the United States NJPW champion. But Cobb right now, again, breakout performer of the B block. Of course, not a first-time performer. We'll talk about the first performers in a moment. B block truly has been owned by Jeff Cobb since the beginning. Yes, Kazuchika Okada finally found himself once again the Rainmaker, but to a degree, we expected Okada to perform well in this thing. We just didn't expect to finally see the one true Rainmaker back. Glad he's back though. And again, Okada right now, he is literally on the path to going back towards his average, as he's already got 12 points. Now, that being said, you basically have told a sentence and I'm basically free form. Right now, Casey, I just want you to talk anything on your mind regarding G1. What's been like your biggest surprises, breakout first-time performers, any thoughts you have, man? Take it away. What's been on your mind?
There has been quite a bit on my mind, honestly.
Go for it.
Shingo Takagi has been lighting it up, all things considered, in over in the A block. He's had some bangers upon bangers as of late. Didn't he recently face Kota Ibushi?
Yes, he did. And Kota Ibushi defeated the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. To think, if this was the actual original match that went through, not due to health issues, at Grand Slam, would we have a two-time IWGP World Heavyweight Champion? Because you know as well as I do, the winners who defeat the champion during the G1, even to defeat the G1 in the end, basically have already lined themselves up for a future championship match. And right now we got Shingo Takagi and Ibushi, and Shingo Takagi and Zack Sabre Jr. pending.
Yes. And my God, the matches that Tonga Loa has been putting on.
Would you say it's a breakout performance for him as a singles wrestler, considering everyone's known him and his brother as tag team wrestlers?
Breakout performances for both him and his brother, yes.
I also appreciate the fact that even all those people in Bullet Club outside Evil, have basically been fighting honorably to prove that they are the strongest and they deserve to be in this thing, and they want to do this right. Even those, everybody actually in the A block who got the forfeited 2 points off of Tetsuya Naito, unfortunately having to drop out of the G1, they're like, I don't want that to be basically defining anything for my G1. I want to make sure if I win this thing, I win it under my own demeanor. And yeah, you're talking about Tonga Loa, who recently came up a great match with Kota Ibushi. I like the fact that him and more people now are starting to try and challenge the Kamigoye, blocking it by crossing their arms. He came very close. At one point, he literally used Ibushi's own finisher against him. But looking at Tonga Loa's run of matches here, he's faced off against Koreto Khan, Shingo Takagi, Yano. And of course, Tomohiro Ishii. What would you say has been Tanga Loa's strongest match?
You got a hell of a pool to pick from there.
Exactly. Again, this is the guy that wants you to hit him harder. Every match he asked his opponent to hit him harder.
And thus far, I feel like the only one who's actually obliged has been the Stone Pitbull.
I think it's safe to say nobody hits harder than Tomohiro Ishii. Again, that one clothesline he took from Shingo Takagi, you said yourself, it sounded like a gun went off, and that was the freaking opening day. Enough said.
Yeah.
So, do you think that Kota Ibushi can make history, making it to his fourth ever G1 Climax final in a row, and potentially be the first one to win 3 G1 Climaxes consecutively? Do you think Kota Ibushi still has a shot at that? Or at this point, do you feel like someone's going to stop that down his tracks? He only has literally one opponent left.
And it's freaking Kenta.
And I think you remember what happened opening day in Texas in G1 Climax 2019.
In one word, ouch.
And Kenta won. Kenta, of course, being resourceful, using the corner to his advantage in several of his matches. Shingo Takagi overcoming that, though. And again, Kenta becoming a victim of his own design, trying to humble Great Khan. But the way he beat Great Khan, you're not going to humble that wrestler like that. Kenta got booted in the face for his troubles.
There is no humbling the Dominator. And he's had a few performances, breakout performances in his own right. Oh no, wait, sorry. I'm thinking of
man, come on.
Something
We're just talking.
I'm thinking of something. I was about to say, actually, yeah, he did beat Yano.
Yes, he actually. No, wait, no, he did. Wait, yep, the circles. My apologies. The white circles represent who he beat. Yes, he did beat Yano. He got vengeance when Yano took his braid earlier this year, but still, freaking Yano got the last word with a low blow. Freaking Yano! God, I can't stand this society! I can't stand this man! He freaking beat Kenta! How? Why? And I get it. He and Tomohiro Ishii are former IWGP Tag Team Champions by some miracle. And now he's facing the Stone Pitbull next. I pray to God that Tomohiro Ishii puts this man down. And based on previous history, it does seem like it does favor Tomohiro Ishii more. And we'll definitely talk more about the matches coming up on the later cards as well. Going back to Shingo Takagi, though, yeah, he still has yet to face Great Khan. And that's a first time ever one-on-one match to come as well. Kenta, of course, has Kota Ibushi. Yujiro Takahashi, I mean, heck, he got the ultimate upset opening day, but since then he has been winless. But at least Peter, yay, is always with him too. Always, hey, I like bunnies. What can I say? In wrestling. Anyway, Peter, of course, definitely hypes the motivation, I feel, for Tokyo Pimp. And he's come close. I was so annoyed when Yano freaking won, bringing him underneath the ring and handcuffs. Like, don't play Yano's game. Don't try the Yano. It doesn't work 85% of the time. Just saying. Anyway, your thoughts on Yujiro's performance in the G1 this year?
I would probably say he's been the closest to evil in terms of his tactic choices. But yeah, he's definitely taken me by surprise with just about everything he's done, because he's taken Yano, Zack, Great Khan, Kenta, and Tanga Loa to the limit.
And that was Tanga Loa's first actual in-ring pinfall win, and his only one so far in this entire thing. And again, respect, Bullet Club for life, too sweet. And I thought that was actually a respectable, good match. That probably was my favorite Yujiro match, because it didn't seem like there really was any nonsense there. Both men were just trying to test the other's will, and we so had the stronger spirit. The Silverback.
Agreed. Now, with that being said, oh boy. We go over to the B block for their counterparts, Tama Tonga and Chase Owens.
Huh. There's a reason why Chase Owens is the crown jewel of Bullet Club, and there's a reason why that Tama Tonga, the deal maker, respects Chase Owens. That right there was an incredible match. And as the other half, as you alluded to, God, Tama Tonga getting his first in-ring pinfall win over Chase Owens with a very, very creative counter to the freaking package pile driver. I did not see that coming. That was more beautiful than an RKO out of nowhere. Wow.
Well, most things are more beautiful than an RKO out of nowhere. Favoritisms and not so favoritisms with sports entertainment.
But also, it's not professional wrestling. It's a whole different world. Just saying.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah, Chase Owens, basically, I think that was his breakout performance. But what about his first ever win, G1 win over Hiroshi Tanahashi? Now, we know he's been Hiroshi Tanahashi before in singles encounters, but this is the G1. This is the Ace's home and domain. This is where he thrives and shines the most in his personal spirit, I believe. And Chase Owens beat the guy clean in the middle of the ring.
Just goes to show, Hiroshi Tanahashi may be the ace, but there is only one, Mr. August.
And also Texas Heavyweight Champion. And again, did we just set up our next challenger for the IWGP United States Championship? People forgot Ace has that belt. Chase Owens, no strangers to NWW strong. I could see the match happen. I could see it.
And it'd be a great match. Especially if the G1 match has been, anything to go by.
Well, again, the G1 is the standard bearer for what you believe should be professional wrestling at its highest. And I've already can imagine, and I don't follow star ratings, let that define me, but I imagine Dave Meltzer has probably given several of these matches no less than 4.5.
I easily see at least a couple 5 stars in there already. Takagi Ishii is definitely one of them.
Well,
and
how about Okada with his unblemished record and him and Taiji pushing each other further than ever before. When you think about these two and their journeys and their identities in New Japan Pro Wrestling, Taiji, who really has redefined himself as a professional wrestler, following that sumo type of background, relying less on dirty tricks and antics, trying to win it and bring it all in the ring. Incredible matches against Sonata, beat Sonata. I bet that surprised a lot of people. Came this close to beating Okada. And he really tried to outsmart at one point Jeff Cobb, but there was just too much Cobb for Taiji to overcome. In my opinion, though, for the B block, Taiji has definitely been a hell of a performer for me, despite the fact he is obviously eliminated with only 4 points.
Agreed. Poor guy. I can absolutely see him as a contender down the line, especially with the change he's undergone since getting off the Iron Glove of Iska.
Now forever buried. Again, Tekka's owning the blocks as far as what they bring. But Zack Sabre Jr. right now, you look at this field of 20. Again, we literally only have 1 to 2 days of action left in both blocks respectively, as of course we have the 12 right around the corner. So as far as the B block goes, again, it's down to pretty much Okada, Cobb, and Evil. As far as the A block, though, there's still a pick 'em. I mean, Tomohiro Ishii, he could get to 12 points if Kenta dropped both these other losses here. Or, excuse me, watch. If Kota Ibushi drops these other losses here, I would not count Tomohiro Ishii out. I would not count anybody out right now with 8 points, especially with the fact we got matches waiting like Shingo Takagi versus Brittle Khan. And, of course, Toru Yano could be the ultimate of my honor if he beats Zack Sabre Jr. or Tomohiro Ishii. I pray to God that doesn't happen.
Same, absolutely same.
So what do you think right now is the most crucial match to come up that remains to determine who you think should be the winner of their block in either A or B? Like, who right now in the G1 have you been rooting for the most to win the block and feel maybe might be in danger?
I've got 2 from each.
Go for it.
I've got Okada and Cobb in B block. And I've got Ishii and Zack Sabre Jr. in A block.
Do tell.
Well, Jeff Cobb has had the breakout performance of his life ever since the G1 began. I don't really think we really need to explain that, nor really do we really need to explain Okada because he's finally found himself again, and both men are undefeated. No, not one blemish on both men's records coming into the next few days of coming into this basically final week of G1 action.
Pretty much.
So Okada and Cobb are definitely the people to watch, at least for me, for my money in B block.
All right.
As for Zack and Ishii, well, Zack Sabre Jr., this is pretty much the only thing in New Japan that he has not done. If he can win this G1, he can pretty much lay claim to being the single most decorated gaijin wrestler in the history of New Japan. And that is something I absolutely want to see happen. Because if anybody is worthy of the title, it's the submission master. Now, as for Ishii, we've been all up and down the roads talking about this guy has been G1 Climax MVP his entire career.
Damn right.
And personally, not that I see his career ending anytime soon, but I kind of see him as in the same situation as Kota Ibushi was going into Wrestle Kingdom 15. If not now, when?
Well, he already has pretty much scored his average as he's hit 8 points. And again, both men you allude to in A block, they still have one possible tiebreaker between them. And that happens to be the most unpredictable, annoying, longest intro professional wrestling plan. Somebody interrupted it finally. Of course, I'm talking about freaking Dono. Because when you look at both Zack Sabre Jr. and Tomohiro Ishii's run, Tomohiro Ishii does own the victory over Zack Sabre Jr., but Zack Sabre Jr. pretty much owns a victory over everybody else that Tomohiro Ishii has faced up to this point, with the exception of Kenta, as both men fell to him. So, ironically, right now, it might be Yano that's really a tiebreaker between those two.
And that's not good for our blood pressure.
No. But then again, Kota Ibushi right now, he sits at 12. If Kota Ibushi gets this final win with Kenta, I think that pretty much will solidify him as the winner of this block. Because the only other one that could possibly get 14 points is literally Zack Sabre Jr., Kenta,
and Shingo Takagi.
Yeah, but again, it's Kenta versus Kota Ibushi, and Shingo Takagi, he has to face Great Khan, which Zack Sabre Jr. already beat. So Zack Sabre Jr. would get the tiebreaker first, in my opinion. And he also has pinned Shingo Takagi. So, yeah, literally, that Kenta match right now will determine, I think, if Kenta takes this whole block.
Or if Kota takes this whole block.
Oh, yeah. Well, again, my brain. Kenta, Kota, they almost roll off the tongue.
Yeah, so.
Right. But as far as the B block goes, though, again, with the action coming up tomorrow, it still, again, comes down to Cobb and Evil and Okada. There's no other way of putting it. Okada, of course, who is facing, Chase Owens. And again, Chase Owens said the one wrestler he wants to face, he is the Mountain. If you remember those opening interviews before this thing started, was Okada. Now, I know he beat Hiroshi Tanahashi, but again, Tanahashi, no disrespect, he has been walking and wrestling in pain his entire life. Those legs can only take you so far without the appropriate handling. And again, he's like, I'm just going to keep going. My spirit will not waver. But this is Okada. This is a renewed Okada. I don't know about you, but I think Chase Owens is in way over his head.
Well, if nothing else, Chase Owens has proven that he can adapt and survive. As I said in our preview, it's the whole reason the Bullet Club took him on in the first place. Do not underestimate Chase Owens' ability to think on his feet, adapt on the fly, and pull miracles out of his ass. I personally am also picking Okada to win, but if any match is going to be the upset, this is going to be it.
That's pretty bold. Again, Cobb and Okada, I feel like no matter what happens between here and now, I feel it's going to be the decider for this block. And again, how fitting it is the final day of B block action. literally it was Sonata and Evil who basically Sonata saved us from Evil last year. And also that is another match to come up as well, as Sonata will be taking on Evil also on that final day too. It might be the match that literally defines if Evil wins the block. God help us. So right now,
come on, Goto, kick his ass.
Goto might be eliminated, which really surprises me when you think about how often Goto has been a talk about factor toward the finals. We had a 2008 winner, but he definitely could play spoiler, and ironically, he could also play savior, as you did allude to. He faces Evil and Dick tomorrow, so yeah, I'm definitely rooting for him. Speaking of which, I think we basically talked about blocks, our ideas on the tiebreakers. I'm sure my friend Sandy and of course Chris Trout will always give us informed as far as well as Kevin Kelly, all the work they do, as far as what tiebreakers really can come into play here and how they work. So again, it can be a really confusing web at times too. But let's go ahead and look at tomorrow's action, as you just slightly alluded to. Evil versus Goto, Ka versus Tanahashi, Chase Owens versus Okada. And of course, my favorite performer, the Holy Emperor, Taiji, takes on Tamatanga. So again, B block, it's not the killer block, but it's that expectation block. Because again, when you look at people like Chase Owens, when you look at the heart of Yoshihashi, who has had a couple of surprising wins himself, I might add, including over, much to my surprise, Taiji. There's still some matches here that could be sleepers, but clearly we know who he wants to win at least one of these. So that being said, yeah, I know you want Goto to win Evil. You got expectation about Chase Owens and Okada. Is there anything else you feel worth noting about these other three matches?
There's really only one other thing I feel like noting. The pants are gonna come off.
You learned well, young one. Okay, look, I don't care what you tell me. That is the most electrifying move in professional wrestling. I will say that to the day I die. Someone get me a pair of those pants. All right? The freaking pants come off. Taiji engages to another level. You all need to respect that and understand that. All right? Eat your heart out, Angel Garza. Anyway.
Wow.
I went there. Like I said, bottom line. The one with the pants is Taiji, and I don't give a damn what anybody tells me. But I digress. Anyway, going back. Sorry.
Back on track.
sorry, not sorry. Going back onto things. Let's also talk about, like what you alluded to at one point. How you been feeling about the Young Lions' performances in single and tag? They've been taking it to, of course, Yoshinobu Kanemaru and Desperado. These last couple weeks, including tag team action. And Desperado, though, it just seems like I'm just going to lock you up and make you tap out. But between Fujita and Osai, what's been your overall take about both of them?
They've got a bright future in front of them if they keep up their learning curve. They're studying under Sonata. They're studying under Shibata, are they not?
Shibata and Goko, of course, because Goto and Shibata, of course, they work together. And of course, to talk about other performers in the G1, when you talk about Tetsuya Naito, you think about the people who's performed in place in those matches against those opponents to put them through the ringer, the likes of Yuji Nagata, Hiromu Takahashi. And Hiromu Takahashi, he's one of those that I feel like is just on the verge of breaking out into the heavyweight division, I feel like. Do you think so?
I agree, absolutely. After his performances in BOSJ and Wrestle Kingdom 15 this past year, do not sleep on the ticking time bomb. He will explode onto the heavyweight scene, in my estimation, within the next 2 years.
Well, again, he took on formerly, again, after the open-weight New Japan Cup, he took on Tomohiro Ishii, brought the Stone Pit Bull, again, a hard fight, but again, you cannot break the Stone Pit Bull. And he also went to the distance with Kenta, but of course, Kenta outsmarted him once again. Now we find Hiromu Takahashi taking on one of the Young Lions in tomorrow's opener, which I must say, I kind of find that interesting. And how long will Uya, apologies if I screwed up the name, be able to hang with the ticking time bomb? When I think about these Young Lion matches, I don't think about the outcome. Again, when it comes to New Japan, there's a reason why they track matches by time. That really is a testament towards the respect you earn and the outlook you bring to professional wrestling. So I'm hoping that with a 20-minute time limit, that Ryohei Uya, I apologize if I screwed up the name again, can at least go maybe 10 minutes with the ticking time bomb. What's your expectation?
I'm expecting anywhere from 6 to 12 out of Oiwa.
All right. So going forward, of course, we already talked about Tama Tonga versus Taiji, and again, no freaking love lost with these two when it came to that Iron Glove of Iska. Again, these two alone have been feuding against each other for over half the freaking year. And now we find these two facing each other in the G1 Climax. And again, the only other singles encounter, non-G1 wise, Taiji won. While both are mathematically eliminated, both I feel like are definitely going to be looking for the win here. In your opinion, who you think who needs the win more, Taiji or Tama Tonga?
Tama Tonga's still on the rough road as a singles wrestler. I don't know if he's going to continue it to be honest. So if I've got the pencil, I'm giving the win to Taichi.
You brought up an interesting point when you think about God both competing as singles. Would you say that his brother Tonga Loa is the stronger and maybe has more potential as a singles wrestler than the good bad guy Tama Tonga, who's been involved in New Japan Strong in singles encounters? He was involved in that Never Overweight tournament. Do you just feel like that Tama Tonga is better fitted for tag team wrestling versus singles wrestling?
I wouldn't necessarily say either of them are fitted for singles wrestling over tag team wrestling. But if either one of them is going to break out and start making their mark as singles, it's probably going to be Tonga Loa. All
right. Well, we already know how much history Yoshihashi and Sanada have. They've faced each other before on numerous occasions, including a previous G1 encounter. Yoshihashi again owns a victory over Code Skull. They're 2-1 overall in singles action. Both are eliminated. This right here.
They haven't had a whole lot of matches together.
No.
But for some reason, this feels like the rivalry that just will not end.
And also, who's the more dynamic wrestler here? Again, Sanada, that Techniker style. Yoshihashi, I feel sometimes he more goes off instinct and just the way he carries himself in the ring. Almost like a Kota Ibushi type strategy where Kota Ibushi just adapts and flows like water. Again, you saw how freaking Great Khan and Kota Ibushi started. Both men were just trying to grab a limb and bring one another to the mat. They couldn't do it for 5 minutes. Anyway, again, Kazuchika Okada, Chase Owens. Chase Owens is mathematically eliminated, but if he beats the Rainmaker, that'd probably be the biggest upset in New Japan Pro Wrestling history.
Agreed. And if it's gonna happen, it's gonna be in what, 6 hours, 7 hours?
And give or take. Who's keeping track of time? I just know it's 5:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so set your clocks accordingly, folks. And of course, the main event. And oh wait, it's not the main event. It's semi-main event. Goto mathematically eliminated, and Okada win and an Evil loss eliminates Evil. Their current record right now is 3-3. It's a rubber. G1 record, they've only faced each other one at a time in G1 action. Goto was the winner. But this time, freaking give the title or the money to Dick, because without Dick, there's no way Evil would even have 10 points right now. All right? Take out the Dick. Okay, that just sounded weird. Take out his Padre and freaking just end Evil. All right? That's all I want.
Word choice, Noah. Noah.
I know. My bad. Casey, your thoughts, though, on this whole Evil direction Bullet Club, relying on Dick Togo. Evil's lost his balls pretty much. Do you think he's ever going to go back to the way he was or actually pick up a win on his own again? It's the same typical formula. Turnbuckle, chairs, Abe-san or whoever's the ring announcer suffers. That's just ridiculous, in my opinion. And nothing is different.
The only guy who loves Evil right now is the late Jim Barnett.
Well, you were late, but I digress. Anyway, moving on. Of course, the main event. This is appropriate. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Jeff Cobb. First ever singles encounter. Tanahashi is mathematically eliminated. Again, though, Cobb is facing the ace, one of New Japan's all-time best. And you got to imagine coming off 2 losses now to Chase Owens and the Evil. I imagine Tanahashi's going to fight his damnedest to get the win here. This could go close to the time limits.
I agree. I absolutely agree. This may even go the time limit. Somehow I doubt it because New Japan doesn't like to do that. But
I mean, to be fair though, dude, Sonata and Okada, they almost broke their previous G1 singles match. They missed it by a few seconds. 29 minutes and 15 seconds. That is the farthest I've seen Sonata and Okada go. And we saw these two previously face each other when Okada was champion over near 40 minutes. Again, Sonata, he calls himself the new hope of New Japan Pro Wrestling. People want this guy to break out and be that champion. But it just seems like as much as we believe in Sonata, he always falls short. What's your thoughts on Cold Skull? What do you think he needs to do, or what do you hope happens for him?
Well, like you said, he always falls short whenever he seems to be getting the momentum. I feel like he's snake bit right now, as they might say in the South. But every dog has his day, and I don't know if it's today, but Sonata's day will be very soon. Do not sleep on the Cold Skull.
Again, there's a reason why he's still a mainstay and such a popular guy in New Japan Wrestling. It's not because of the pecs, even though they had the pec flex off. Again, him and Taichi. Again, I love their match psychology in the early going. But again, it's going to take more than flexing your pecs and owning up to your mentors with like the Muda Musa and stuff like that. I just feel like Sonata needs to add something to, not maybe necessarily his character, but maybe just the way he wrestles in the ring. But I know Sonata, he's not going to do that. He's going to stick to his roots. Because he's gotten this far. Again, he's a former WGP heavyweight tag team champion. But I don't know. It's just something about Sonata I feel like that's missing, that he needs to do something. I'm just not sure what. So.
When he figures it out, you can be damn sure that we will all see it.
Oh, without doubt. As we move on to the following day after that, because again, B block, we go to A block on the 13th. Back-to-back days of action. Again, great. As the Fujita will take on the ticking time bomb in the opener. Oh, look at that. The ticking time bomb, I think, taking on both Young Lions back-to-back. Now, you told me that you were impressed so far more than with one than the other. Has that interpretation of these Young Lions changed at all? Are you still behind one more than the other? Like, give me your takes on both these Young Lions so far.
I absolutely think they've got bright futures in front of them. Thus far, I said I was more behind Oiwa after the first match, mainly because of his performance against Sho. Fujita's been turning up the heat, though.
I feel like Fujita brings more intensity to his matches.
Yeah, so keep your eye on that young man going forward.
Again, the Young Lions, you never know what might become of them. And then we move on into exhibition as Kota Ibushi, of course, he does not have a G1 Climax opponent this night because, well, honestly, this might be for a good thing because this night he was supposed to face Naito, and we all know what happens with Naito and Kota Ibushi matches. Yeesh. But he still might get his neck caved in a bit as he does take
I like wrestling Kota Ibushi. It's fun. It's fun.
I hate him, but I like him at the same time, too. Is that weird connection that he and Naito seem to have and probably will share to the day they both no longer wrestle anymore. And with these two, they probably never will stop, no matter what their body says. And again, Kota Ibushi, he's a guy that just acts more than I think thinks. While Naito, he's clearly a thinker.
Naito is very much a thinker. There's a reason he adopted the slogan of Tranquilo.
Asenayo. That being said, Kota Ibushi takes on Lariato himself, Gozi Lariat, Satoshi Kojima. And I feel like here, Satoshi Kojima, he's definitely going to be out to test the Golden Star, but he might also make a statement case for himself, maybe to come back into the G1. What do you expect from this match?
I expect a lot of hard hits.
Yeah, that much. And we both know that Kota Ibushi can deliver a mean freaking lariat. Took Okada's head off back at Wrestle Kingdom 14. Damn.
Yeah.
but
Satoshi Kojima is certainly no stranger to strong style either. There will be plenty of lariatos from Kota Ibushi's way.
Former AJPW, NJPW champion. Must I go on? Again, folks, go watch Wrestle Kingdom 8, 9, and 10 to really learn.
I'm pretty sure
about New
I'm pretty sure he was the IWGP champion at the time of the first Wrestle Kingdom.
You would be correct. The very first one, which of course back then they called the games. And of course we don't have the full thing on NJPW World. We get one match, but I digress. And we move on from there to actual G1 Climax action into, well, this definitely goes towards your points, Casey. A must-win situation for the Stone Pit Bull. Tomohiro Ishii takes on the Tokyo Pimp, Yujiro Takahashi, trying to play spoiler. Now, here's the thing. The only win that that Yujiro has over Tomohiro Ishii one time long ago was for the never openweight champ when he was Mr. All Night Long and had a totally different theme full of trumpets and a much brighter character, but still had a lovely second in his corner. That being said, Tomohiro Ishii will not be distracted by Peter, unlike the referees who's been getting keychains. Interesting. But
Mario Asami.
Freaking Mario Asami. Lucky son of a bitch. I said it. Damn it, I said it. All right. Peter's hot.
I said what I said. Lord help me.
Look, there's a reason why Peter is the one true woman of Bullet Club for life. That's all I gotta say about that. That being said, it's Tomohiro Ishii versus Yujiro Takahashi.
If that's the case, sorry to cut you off. If that's the case, would you say Miho Abe is the one true woman of Suzuki-gun? Had to think for a second there.
Absolutely, the muse of the Holy Emperor. Adds so much. Such a charming one lady too. And I still one day hope to see Pizza versus Miho Abe just cuz, but I digress. Anyway, Tomohiro Ishii, Yujiro Takahashi.
Hint. Stardom, get on that.
Well, hopefully we get more Stardom presentation on New Japan Pro Wrestling as well, as they recently finished their Cinderella tournament. And again, Utami is a pro wrestler on another damn level with that freaking red belt. Queen's Quest, that's all you gotta know, all right? And people go watch Stardom if you haven't already to truly see the all-time greats in professional wrestling, women-wise, or just in the world. Shout out to Jamie Hayter, former Stardom player. That being said, yeah, back on track. Tomohiro Ishii,
back on track.
I'm trying to. Tomohiro Ishii, Yujiro Takahashi. They are 6-1 in Ishii's favor. G1 record, though, 2 previous G1 encounters. Ishii has gotten the better Tokyo Pimp. But again, the opening day, the Tokyo Pimp Yukota Ibushi with a brand new move, Big Juice. Will he try and will he actually execute Big Juice here? Because if Tomohiro Ishii loses, that's done. He's out. Yujiro Takahashi is playing spoiler here. So again, Casey, this is one of your guys you're the most concerned about and you hope to win. Give me what you feel like is going to be the biggest need towards Tomohiro Ishii winning this match.
He's got, and the one big the one big thing I'm worried about is Peter going after the referee. If that happens, you better damn believe that Kane is coming in.
And
Tomohiro Ishii is a big boy, but that is a stiff shot from the Tokyo Pimp. He's got to avoid that at all costs.
All right, fair enough. Following that, we go into, of course, an all Bullet Club clash as Kenta Bangs, who has had quite an interesting run in this year's G1, one of his strongest runs yet, gimmicks or not, taking on the Silverback, Tangaloa. And this again will be a first time ever singles encounter. Now, Tangaloa, of course, is mathematically eliminated based on his points. Kenta is still in this thing, win or lose. But I feel like this is still a big needed win for Kenta. Your thoughts on this match? Again, it's an all Bullet Club thing. First time ever. This is your guy, Tangaloa. This is also Kenta we're talking about. It would not surprise me if Kenta resorts to what he's been using, an exposed turnbuckle.
Agreed. I absolutely agreed. And this is definitely going to be one of those all good in the hood matches, as Taz used to say. But no matter what they resort to, in the immortal words of Booker T, this is going to be good.
No doubt. Oh, God. Why? Why are your matches so damn long? Thank God Zack Sabre Jr. has not fallen to the Yano in G1, but I am scared to death.
As you should be.
Yano is in a must-win. I swear someone's gonna try and make that a shirt one of these days. I'm like, don't make it. All right, don't do that. Don't do that.
T-Public.
Teespring.
T-Public, people.
Anyway, Toriano faces Zack Sabre Jr. Previous G1 record 2-0 in Zack Sabre Jr.'s favor, but he does own one victory overall in their previous 1 out of 3 clashes. But this is the G1 Climax, and Zack Sabre Jr. has been pretty much unstoppable with only 2 losses under his belt. Toriano must win this to stay in this. If he loses, my prayers are answered. He's eliminated. So again, it's one of those things, you play Toriano's game, you risk everything. But also, Toriano knows how to exploit his opponents to the point he pisses them off. And if there's one thing we know about Zack Sabre Jr., that could be his ultimate weakness. He has a short fuse. So again, Casey,
short fuse.
I feel like that's the keys to this match. Zack Sabre Jr. has to maintain his composure and keep this match in the ring under all costs, or he's in trouble.
He's in big trouble. He's in absolutely ungodly amounts of trouble if he loses his cool here. Zach, I know it's hard for you, pal. Stay calm.
Freaking Blake Techers call this guy a dickhead 200 times. Just break his arm and pin him in the ring, please. That's all I want. All right. Again, every time I see Yano go for some weird roll up, I'll put over the shirt, put his second my ass, put that bag over somebody's head. I'm just no. Yeah. I'm just like, dear God, no. All right. That's all I gotta say about that. And last but not least, again, a pinnacle match considering Zack Sabre Jr. and Tomohiro Ishii and Kota Ibushi all on a victory over this man. Breakout performer of the A block, for sure, and a future world champion. I think you're correct. First time ever singles encounters, it's Shingo Takagi versus Great Khan, and Great Khan is mathematically eliminated. But again, this is the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion you're facing. You beat this man, you guarantee yourself pretty much a title match. And as Chris Charlton alluded to day one, the thing that has not allowed a world champion to win the freaking G1 and control their destiny in the Wrestle Kingdom, it's the motivation of the opponents and that creeping disbelief in yourself and your abilities to take this thing all the way. What's your expectations on this match, Casey? This is going to be a very wild physical clash.
That's not even close to covering it. These two are going to go to war.
Yeah, and that's putting it politely. And again, that's all we're going to really talk about for now, folks, because after this, Casey, you know what's left. The final days of both block action to determine our winners and our overall final. And thankfully, we have a few days to get this watched, come back together, and finally determine who we think will be involved in proving who is Max the Max, despite Chris Charlton acting like Ace Attorney to try and figure it out right now and still hasn't. But hey, kudos to you trying.
Phoenix Wright, you are not Chris Charlton, but points for trying.
Yeah, well, what are you going to do? And again, of course, B Block, they will have their second to last day of action, as you see here. And we can probably talk about that a little bit because I feel there is some expectations to some of these matches. Because again, Cobb versus Evil, Pinnacle. Evil can play the ultimate spoiler here. If Evil beats Cobb and somehow Okada and Cobb tie in the end, Cobb would have the tiebreaker because Okada beat Evil. Thank God. That's really all you got to say about that. Because, again, this block, it's really down to, I feel like, 2 men at this point. Cobb and Okada. I pretty much already eliminated Evil because I feel the shenanigans are not worthy of being part of the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship picture.
Agreed.
That's what I got to say about that. Also, how can we forget about you talk about key matches. What about the classic mat-based, strong road style match with Zack Sabre Jr. and Great Khan? For me, that's been the standout match of this whole tournament when you think about how adaptive those two were. And honestly, it was just fewer pitches of watching these men trying to garner a body part and control over the other. I did not think Great Khan could be that adaptive or strong on Zack Sabre Jr.'s level. Honestly, I might think he's stronger on a technical level than on the physical aspect. And we've seen him more physical in this whole thing versus technical. Your thoughts on that match?
Will Ospreay, you found yourself a gem, boy.
Apparently a whole lot more too, as we've learned over the months. His United Empire literally is what it is, taking over the world. He's got TJP now in New Japan Strong America, and he's got Aussie Open in RevPro. Something told me after Crown's Quest that was not going to be the last we've seen of Aussie Open in New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think pretty much this established the now part of it. Any further thoughts you have regarding G1 or anything on New Japan, man?
It's been a long, lonely summer.
Yeah.
But Wrestle Kingdom 16 is finally on the horizon.
I don't know how the hell you and I are going to survive that, let alone commentate or watch or talk about it, because 3 nights.
The simple answer is because I have a noise ordinance where I am, I'm probably not. So I'm probably going to watch that. So I'm probably going to watch that after the fact.
Fair enough. But hey, like the beginning of January 3rd, we'll try and get together, the whole crew, once again to preview Wrestle Kingdom in its entirety, as you do check your noise stuff. But I digress. Bottom line is this, again, we literally are 10 days away from finding out what our, as a time, G1 Climax finale will be, and the winner will be, and who Max the Max will be, and who will hold that case and defend their honor, both champion and challenger wise, to Wrestle Kingdom. We already know Shingo Takagi, he's got at least 2 demons coming after him. As far as the winner of the G1, I honestly don't know yet, because again, I look at both blocks. There is a key candidate, I believe, that can take the whole thing in either block. I've been saying it for the longest time. I see, and this is just me teasing, because again, me and Casey will come back together once we know who's for sure have potential to be in the finals. I feel like maybe you can actually put this together, Casey. I feel we're on the verge of a Sakura Genesis rematch.
Oh?
Yes. And I would leave that at that. And we'll see how many fans from Founders Japan Pro Wrestling as I have know exactly which 2 I'm talking about. But that's all I got to say for now. So with that being said, folks, we don't do a pick-em. We just talk and enjoy professional wrestling. What's been your expectation of the G1 Climax so far? Who's been your breakout performer? Who's been, of course, your key performer? Who do you hope wins and loses? Please say Evil. Let us know in the comments down below.
And say Yano.
Stop! Don't say that name. It's a curse.
No, I said as in for losing. As in for losing.
I feel like even then he's like he reverses the narrative when you think a wrestler should not be this. But friggin' screw COVID, the friggin' worst virus is
poor guy.
God,
this poor guy.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. Everything's fine. My room's down on fire. But I digress. But
yeah,
again,
it's not over
folks,
yet.
Again, folks, we'd love to hear your expectations, opinions, comments down below. Casey, always a pleasure. I know you and I, again, we will reconvene either before the final or once we know the final. We'll definitely talk more later this week. Where can people connect with you on anything professional wrestling and become a friend of yours too?
The easiest place to do so is on Twitter, @CTroop19. You can also subscribe to me on YouTube, Luke Lynch, Luke 12 Lynch on Twitch. And you can find me anticipating the final of the G1 Climax with enormous hype, but nowhere near as much as my friend here.
You're a good heart. Look, I'm just a professional wrestling fan. It's not about me, it's about wrestling. But again, got the vibe in my mind. So I'm gonna play Tetris Effect to calm me down.
Hey, my man.
Dude, look me up on PlayStation. Let's connect. Let's take down these bosses. And Foster 1916. Literally, I'm in Foster 1916 on everything, folks. So if you want to connect with me, that's what it is. And just know this, if you've never seen me or heard me before, I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling in all of its forms. So again, it's Twitter, it's Instagram, it's YouTube, and it's PlayStation Network. And Foster 1916. And follow all my friends here, like Casey and the family, FTW, and Waymark Youth, WWYW, and of course the HW family. Shout out to all you on Twitter. for All Things Wrestling. We'll be back eventually with another ATW view once we think we got enough thoughts between us to talk all things wrestling, the good, the bad, the indifferent, the why is this happening, and so much more. Casey and I, we might be back with Jeff Meacham, but Jeff Meacham never depends on time and how everything goes because Bound for Glory is coming up. And
I was just about to ask that. When is that happening?
That is Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on October the 23rd on pay-per-view. And we already know
will be there.
We already know we got Deonna Purrazzo versus Mickie James for the Knockouts title. We got Josh Alexander versus Christian Cage for the Impact World title. And we know we have
a good match.
Yes, we got a triple threat, of course, to determine a new X Division champion, a Call Your Shot gauntlet, and so much more. Surprises galore to be expected because we got AEW, NJPW, and AAA involved. And just announced from Knockouts SmackDown for those who didn't watch it, the Inspiration will be officially making their return to professional wrestling at Bound for Glory. That's right. Cassie Lee and Jessica McKay, two of my favorites. You might formerly remember them as the Iconics. Peyton Royce and Billy Kay. They are back, and they will be part of Impact Wrestling, and will be at Bound for Glory. I cannot wait to see this.
As will the both of us.
Well, there's one guy I know that's a bit of a indifferent, but you know what? Wrestling fans, their own design. Just don't be a bully. That's all I gotta say. You could be the opposite all you want. All right, that's fine.
Yep. Just don't shove it down our throats. Because remember, at the end of the day, there are no winners, there are no losers, there are no betters. There are just fans with differing opinions for this passion we all share. So just support each other. Just enjoy life and enjoy professional wrestling. That's what we do.
I'm Noah Foster, and I approve this quote. Simple as that. Again, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, hit the bell notifications on this channel, hit the subscribe button. Be on the lookout for me. Also, keep working with the Titty Turnbuckle Network. I'll be back with Cindy G to continue bringing you my input and coverage on Rampage every Friday night after the show. It goes off the air because I am with AEW, and I love this company. But remember, AEW Dynamite is Saturday night this week. But Wednesday nights, AEW still got you covered. We'll be looking back at some of the greatest matches of AEW Dark and AEW Dark Elevation. And with AEW Dark with 100 episodes, that's a large catalog to think about. So I'm very curious what they're going to have and what I think is going to be a 3-hour online special. So again, there's so much wonderful things going on in professional wrestling right now. How can you not be a fan? Look at GCW and what happened this past weekend. Who showed up? Look at what's happening in AAA, and now we know who's going to face the Lucha Brothers this Saturday. Holy hell, Rhea Lee, Dragon Lee. Anyway, but I digress. I'm not going to spoil you on everything because I want to encourage you to go check these promotions out yourself and become, if you've been lapsed or never tried to be, or if you are, be even a bigger one. Be a professional wrestling fan. So, for the Wrestling Encyclopedia, Casey Gallagher, I am the Simple Man Noah Foster. Thank you again for tuning in. Take care and do live. Tomorrow's never guaranteed. Treasure fans and enjoy wrestling. And as always, I just wish you all the best. I keep it simple because we need to go get some rest. The G1 Climax is on our doorsteps tomorrow morning with Black Action. So I will bid you all a fine adieu. Thank you again for tuning in. Eugenio and sayonara.
Sayonara.
And Max, the Max, and Breakiano and Evil. Look, I'm going to be honest. I'm just being honest here. It's all me.
I get it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.